Oh, shit, son. I'm finally caving in to the liberal mob. I'm finally caving into the thoughts that right-wingers have replied to me with on Twitter and Instagram since the beginning. I'm watching CNN. I'm watching CNN. The Devil's Network. Hear why these Trump supporters praise Senator Kristen Sinema.
What happens tomorrow? Black and brown Americans will be watching what happens tomorrow. In 50 years, students will read about what happens tomorrow and know whether our leaders had the integrity to do the right thing.
On this Martin Luther King holiday, his family worries about the future, even while looking back at the man who was murdered fighting for equality over half a century ago. The Kings led a march. Even they can't say he was assassinated. He was a large enough public figure to even grant the word assassination without literally needing to think about the idea if he was assassinated or not. Like, march across the Frederick Douglass Memorial Bridge here in Washington today, demanding the Senate pass voting rights legislation. And this comes on the eve.
Even if, this is the thing I don't like about politics right now. And like, I have plenty of pieces on like before, but like just right now with this Voting Rights Act. Even if I were to take this as a Democrats' grab for absolute power, even if I were to shit on them and say all of this shit that they've been talking about is just so they can keep a wider margin and allow more people who probably will vote Democrat because the Republicans seem crazy, like, even if I were to take that at face value, which is their main number one chief complaint, even if I were to take this at face value, I would still say, wouldn't this open up the field for more Republicans to vote? Like, I'm giving you, in theory, a competitive edge. I'm giving you the chance to quite possibly override whatever theory you have about me, whatever figure you have on me, whatever this, whatever that. It doesn't fucking matter, because we're going to open up the voting to everybody. But these people that they're opening up the voting to, they know that they don't naturally appeal to Republicans. So if you want to take the whole they're bringing in undocumented, like, see how I can both sides it, and at the same time the both sides don't add up to one another? Let me complete that sentence, because some people on YouTube are getting weird with me, and I don't know what it is. Like, you must think I'm fucking stupid, but let's do this in the way that they want, because I don't complete sentences. If you are to claim that the Democrats are bringing in undocumented people because they'll most likely vote Democrat because they don't vibe with Republicans, even in that realm, you would still say, shouldn't your campaign involve those people to appeal to them? But the idea is that they don't like them. They run on campaigns that disadvantage these people. They create legislation that disadvantages those people. Same as Democrats, but at least it's not slamming the fucking door down. They just really don't fix what Republicans break. Like, whatever. We can have that double side conversation. But take a look at literally what was just said. Like, when you extrapolate these meanings across a country, you really realize, like, these people are appealing to a certain perspective of voter, a certain person. Now, whether or not they realize that that's pretty obvious is up to them. For you and I, it should be pretty easy for us to say, hey, maybe there's something wrong with this.
Of when the Senate will begin debate on this issue. Now, over the holiday weekend, the Kings brought their message to Arizona. So did Donald Trump and the return of the big lie. Ardoni O'Sullivan saw firsthand how their visions of free and fair elections could not be further apart.
No celebration without We all have a voice in this country in which we live. And voting is that opportunity that we have.
This Martin Luther King Jr. Day weekend in Arizona, a battle for the future of American democracy.
We wanted to come on this day because there's also a senator, Senator Sinema, who seems to be blocking democracy instead of being on the side.
I had to cough while I drank the water. It just fucked me up.
Here calling on Arizona Democratic Senator Kirsten Sinema
just
to
fucked
stand
me
up for voters' rights.
I'm laughing because it was like, that was funny. Like, I was really ready to.
Without creating a path for that to happen. That is inconsistent, and that is unacceptable.
Sinema and fellow Democratic Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia are blocking the passage of a pair of voting rights bills aimed at countering some of the restrictive voting measures enacted by Republicans at the state level. Sinema says she is supportive of the bills, but not in favor of changing Senate rules to get them passed.
And while I continue to support these bills, I will not support separate actions that worsen the underlying disease of division infecting our country.
That's a fucking Republican line. That's a Republican line. They have something on them. That's the, like, they're holding them at gunpoint. See, like, and then people ask me, well, how did you get there? Explain to us your thought pattern paradigm. When I say things, it's not because I'm right. It's not because I'm right. It's because, like, I can read people. Like, I see how you moving. You moving like that girl that sits at the end of the lunch table that really keeps looking at the guy at the top of the lunch table but just won't say anything. But, like, she'll specifically do shit to break apart you and your girl's relationship because she's trying to weasel her way in because she's like literally nuts. Like, I've been there. While I continue to support the message of these bills, I will not support anything that breaks apart an already divisive situation. Bitch, you're on the side that's getting divided. You're literally helping the divisionary side. I just lost my fucking pop filter. Did it break? Thank God, no. All right, this is what my voice would sound like without the pop filter. That shit is tough, right? All right, exactly. Keep your fucking voices down. Keep your fucking voices down. But that's the problem, like, you're on the side of the fucking divisiveness. And that's what I hate about people who say, oh, pick on the Democrats more. You're always on shitting on Republicans. It's like Republicans have the fucking majority. Somehow we were able to split the Senate and they still got the majority. You wonder, like, we talk about these things as power imbalances in the government all the time. We talk about the Democratic policies and how they form these idiosyncratic, nothing will change, but at least we're not like I hate that dynamic. And then we watch it play out when literally democracy is at stake and they're just like, we don't want to upset those we don't want to upset the red side, we don't want to upset the fucking elephant. I think I got that right. The donkey is the fucking Democrats. Yeah, the elephant is the Republicans. Even then, yo. Even fucking then, yo. Like, and it just bothers me that normal human beings don't function well in big political positions like Congress people or senators or presidents or vice presidents. You don't got some dude from the hood making decisions. He gonna say, yo, let all my boys free. He gonna say like free my homies, and like y'all gonna hate that. But then all of a sudden you gonna realize, even though he was to our standards, we're talking about white people now, even though he wasn't to our standards as a black person, you know, he really did do a lot of good for the community. He ended up really reinvesting in his community because he knew exactly what they needed. Maybe we need a president to do that for us. And it's like, oh, then they'll figure it out. When they don't get something, they'll figure out, oh shit, we could have had that too. But that's where I come in. Like, I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be like, I'm going to give it to you both because there's no reason why we can't. Money is not real. Fuck you. Fuck your opinions. Fuck your bad decisions. Like, you put us in this situation and then you want to act like pussies when you finally get control of the Senate. Literally bend them motherfuckers over and fuck them and give me my money. Like, I don't understand why most of America feels that way and does nothing about it. Let's vote. No, let's all for one day, just one day. I know I know how hard this will be, and that's the problem with billionaires, is that they could pay for this one day and it would literally boost their stock so far because everybody would be up their ass talking about how you saved them. Let's all one day withhold our labor, just one day. No MTA, no public transit, no electrical work, no nothing. Just hold everything up for ransom. If not, the whole shit get paid. 24 hours. Y'all got 24 hours to figure out y'all wage situation, or it's clipped for y'all. Y'all ain't gonna have heat. Y'all ain't gonna have hot water. Your shit is done. Your shit is done. And you know what happens when people don't have hot water and heat? They go crazy. And you gonna lose everything for that. They coming to you first. They ain't coming to rob my house because they know I'm riding with them. Like, you're not getting where I'm trying to go. Now, this sounds like anarchism. And again, I'm not reading my chat right now because I'm just in a thought and I don't want to get sidetracked by anything. So I'm going to have to take time to check that out. I've never done that before. I usually watch my chat like vigorously to make sure no weird shit is happening. But my mods is on it right now, so I'm fine with that. Anyway, like, what brings me to my collapse is seeing these people exist in this corporate structure, in this government structure, and are literally saying, we're not going to side with the people who literally depended on us to be part of the group that we were going to do to make sure that these motherfuckers didn't invent fascism back in our country. And you can have your opinions on whether or not that really happened or not. You can say I'm overblowing it. You can say I care too much, but like, at the end of the day, what we were seeing was not normal, and I just want normal. Joe Biden is not normal. Donald Trump is not normal. None of this shit is normal. You got old ass motherfuckers that probably can't live to see 8 terms fucking leading the country. Like, I don't want my grandpa doing it. I want Jumpin' Joe Jack down the block. I know he could box. Like, I know he gonna have the best opinions at heart because he only knows what the suffering of his people go through. You give him all that money, you think he's gonna be president making rap videos? That's gonna be me, first of all. But anyway,
that stance music to the ears of some Trump supporters this weekend on hand at a rally for Trump in Sinema's home state.
God bless Kirsten Sinema and what she's doing, you know?
Kirsten Sinema, good for her. You know, she's our representative. She represents the state. She's not along party lines. She's what's good for the country.
See, but she's just doing the fucking Republican toe lining. Like, that's it. That's all she's doing for your state. Is literally saying, I side with the Republicans, and you're wearing a shirt that says, fuck Joe Biden. Like, I don't understand how you don't see that that is specifically what they want, because they know that they might be able to gain more power and more traction in their countries by appealing to both Democratic voters by being a Democratic vote, and at the same time appealing to Republican voters by playing their cards. They gotta have something on them, or there's more of a power game than we're not noticing here. And the fact that we're not noticing and calling them out on it, they shouldn't be able to hold office if they're just doing this for the sake of being able to do it. Why don't we have rules? We probably do. President, Senate, people, we probably have rules set in place to exact this. And now I gotta read up on fucking Senate law because I want to be able to say, hey, there are no rules or provisions for people literally obstructing justice. What, are we gonna impeach them? There's levels to which I don't know how far this law shit goes, and I'm willing to admit that on the sake that there should be something in place if I give somebody power and they just fuck me on it. I'm tired of getting fucked, yo. My pussy hurt.
Do you like Kirsten Sinema?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Manchin. In fact, I have sent emails to them.
Hey, Joseph is through. What's up? What's poppin'?
The people of Arizona.
Those supporters in line.
Joseph, we always appreciate the love. We always, hold on, we got to give a shout out. We always appreciate Joseph and the love. Always.
It's a hodgepodge of election deniers.
Give Joseph that
like
love.
Mike Pelosi,
That's real
Mike
shit.
Lindell,
I am having a good day. We're having a good stream today.
Even Ali Alexander, one of the main organizers of Stop the Steal, who went into hiding after the insurrection and was recently called in front of the January 6th House Select Committee.
Hey Ali, are you worried that you might get indicted? Thank you, Arizona. Thank you.
Trump here giving his support to 2 election deniers who are running to control elections in the state. Carrie Lake is running for governor.
There's a few other people I'd like to send right down to the prison down here in Florence. Anybody who was involved in that corrupt, shady, shoddy election of 2020.
You can't give a shit because you don't live in Arizona. You can't give a shit because you don't live in Arizona. If you live in Arizona right now, you can give a shit. Nobody else can. This is your race. You want me to become like your election security person? You want me to tell you who are the good candidates? You want me to tell you who you should vote for? I'm gonna make an underdog win the whole fucking thing. You know why? Because I'm gonna test to see. I'm gonna go to Arizona and test to see how that person is. This is what the paradigm shift does. I'm not fucking one of these online motherfucker, I don't touch grass, like, dickheads. Like, no. They are gaining power. We are talking about your fucking favorite Star Wars revival shit. We're talking about your the Empire Strikes Back type shit happening in real time. And I know that sounds doomerism. I get that. What do you want as hope? I have hope that these young people who are not sitting here wearing blacks for Trump, the young people who are sitting on TikTok, they might have their own weird ass leftist ideas and might want to have equality for all and you can't say this and you can't say that, but at least they're on the right track. We direct them in the right direction. We give them a little nuanced old age wisdom hope, and we can have something here. That's my hope. And that hope is proving true because these other Democrats that aren't about that bullshit are getting elected, are getting reelected. There's something happening. It's starting slow. It's going to take some time to churn. I probably won't be alive to see it, and I'm okay with that. But I'm not going to sit here in front of the internet, in front of everybody and say, I want to do this, I want to do that, and then pretend like I give you realistic timelines. It's probably going to be a while. But something's happening down here. Something's happening, some people are talking, and it's heading in the right direction. And we haven't had the right direction for a long time. So you want your hopium for the day? Like, I've always said that no matter how bad things get, I always know that the next generation, even how crazy as they are with the fucking TikTok and fucking wild ass memes and shit, they are the ones mobilizing. They are the ones hearing and starting to say, hey, yo, why you ain't listening to us? They ain't gonna take the civil rights and passive era. They're gonna take the activist era because they feel like their lives are on the line. Climate change is a thing. Things are pushing. Like, I'm not the one to say, like, okay, there are no solutions to this. It's happening, and like, it's up to us, the voting age people. It's up to us, the informed people, try to get that message out. Maybe we can't, maybe we can. But at the same time, what we need to keep in track is that these people will have to trip up, and we need to call them if they do gain that power. Yo, this is what happened. And that's why I always said, as a fucking meme, even though it's still happening, they sold stock and didn't tell anyone. I'm always going to repeat that because that's always a point that I'm trying to make here.
Lock them up.
Running the same Trump line.
Who previously said he was an oath keeper and is now running for Secretary of State.
Donald Trump won.
Fincham has...
See what I mean? I know I did say that earlier. I said it about white men and black men, but let's talk about Democrats and Republicans. Yo, I just don't like being fucked right in the fucking throat. Like, you got your dick. Like, you really trying to pull a Negan on me. You really trying to say right now that you slid your dick down my throat and I thanked you for it. Like, hey, yo, like, first of all, get that shit out my face. Second of all, get that shit out my face. Third of all, like, who's cheering for that? Am I bugging to see in the faces of the black people with the blacks for Trump? Like, they looking like, damn, he really said that, yo. We can't cheer for that. Damn, you know he lost. You know we got paid for this. Who the fuck would ever get out of their room? Like, who would ever go out of their house with a blacks for Trump shirt? I can't believe that dude earlier said, you need to talk with your chat more. It would definitely engage your viewers more. Like, but I'd probably be stun locked on whatever's going on in the chat. So like, it's a beautiful surprise for me to see it. So that way people on YouTube can just get my reaction and not everything else. Even though they should be here, just like you should be, because you're on YouTube right now. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Go click the Twitch in the description, bro. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm having fun. I hope you guys are having fun. I appreciate the raid, Heem. I wonder if Heem actually took my raid, like my response to his raid, like serious. I wonder. I hope not. I hope not. Oh, a lot of things is happening. Trans hearts, yes, we love. I love you, man. I appreciate you. True, we're continuing. It's a sketch show at this point. Always. Yo, didn't we just talk about the whitest kids you know? It's true, we continue to move in the correct direction as a whole. We just have institutions and the power dynamics of wealth holding back that progress and splintering into open fashion with small, open, amplified segments. So let's go, you know. Hollow Rage is one here, yeah. Yeah, always spreading the lie. I'm glad you're doing well. You just get caught up in the fake electoral revoke documentation. Blah blah. Is very yep.
Echoed QAnon type conspiracy theories about elected officials.
There's a lot of people involved in a pedophile network and the distribution of children, and unfortunately, there's a whole lot of elected officials that are involved in that.
And he continues to falsely attack the legitimacy of the 2020 election here in Arizona.
I look forward to the day that we set aside an irredeemably flawed election. That's the election of 2020. With all the evidence we have, the Arizona election should be decertified by the legislature.
That's part of a national trend. A Washington Post tally finding 163 Republicans who have embraced Trump's false claims are running for statewide positions that would give them authority over the administration of elections. Arizona's current Secretary of State, Katie Hobbs, now running for governor.
I think we are really at a defining moment. I mean, in 2020, democracy prevailed, and 2020 and after 2020, democracy prevailed because people on both sides of the aisle did their jobs. And what we're seeing now is this just multi-pronged attack, and one of those prongs is Trump trying to instill his loyalists into key positions that have some level of determination over how elections are certified and conducted, and that's pretty scary.
We will pass this bill.
And on this Martin Luther King Jr. Day weekend, his 13-year-old granddaughter following in her grandfather's footsteps with a warning for today.
And then it'd be like, I don't even want to hear her talk, because like, there's no way Martin Luther King Jr.'s granddaughter is still marching for the same thing. Like, I love Republicans who sit there and say shit like, hopefully we've realized his vision, or hopefully we're moving forward in his vision. Like, you know for a fucking fact that his fucking granddaughter is still marching against you. What are you gonna do if she gains too much power? Snipe her too? Like, you're like, that's what I mean about the argument between Democrats and Republicans. Why don't we splinter the Democratic Party into two parties and like have them fight over progressives and neo what is neo? What is the word? What is the word? Neoliberal. Thank you. Yes. Neoliberal. There we go. MLK, you know, the guy who said that one line that one time. I could do the Cody. I could do the fucking Cody. Yeah, this is depressing AF. But like, this is what I mean. Like, I know I can't like entertain you while we talk about these heavy ass shits, but like, yo, this shit is fucked. Let's figure out a way to fix it. How about we point out to, this is a paradigm shift. Instead of arguing with people on like how we haven't reached MLK's vision and that racism isn't over, instead just say to them, then why is Martin Luther King's granddaughter still marching for the same causes? There you go. There's a solution. There's a talking point. Fine, we Paradigm's own talking points. Here we go. But like, that's a thing. That's a real thing. You can't argue that. That's infallible. Either she's crazy and is deluding people into a cult, or there's still a fucking problem. You can't deny that. Because either you agree with Martin Luther King's words and say we should have moved in that from that one speech, he said that one time, he said that one line, or there has to be something like going wrong, right? Right? There has to be something going wrong. There's no reason she'd be interested in activism. She would just use her father's fame to become what? Like a TikTok star, right? Like the normal shit. She's still marching. Therefore, you can't argue that. And if you tried to argue that, you'd have to be arguing against MLK's words because she's still marching in that image. She's still speaking on those issues. Either they still exist or both of them were crazy and there's never been racism.
I think it's so important to vote, and it's so important to have the right to vote, because right now our country is at stake.
And Donnie is joining us now.
All right,
Donnie,
Dan, you could have said more. You could have said more. I know it's hard to talk. Like I ain't gonna put you to the screws like that. But
great report taking us right into the middle of things there. You know, just this month, the Maricopa County Recorder, who is a Republican who defeated a Democrat in 2020, debunked 76 out of 77 claims by the so-called cyber ninjas. That is the group, of course, that carried out that so-called fraud and is now shutting down.
This shit don't feel like a whitest kid you know skit. This shit don't feel like onion satire. Listen to what she just said. This is why I'm talking about, you watch CNN all the time. You believe all your news. Like, I can't believe the news in general, because what are we talking about right now?
The Maricopa County Recorder, who is a Republican who defeated a Democrat in 2020, debunked 76 out of 77 claims by the so-called cyber ninjas. That is the group, of course, that carried out that so-called fraud and is now shutting down.
What dystopia do you want to live in? Do you know why you should be here and watching me, like, as your favorite streamer? Because I'm eventually going to leave all of this and play political games that also are set at dystopias. And we can talk about how it's been in media as a warning sign. And the only reason why you didn't notice it is because you weren't raised to have to figure that out for yourself. You had time to be able to develop your own opinion. Therefore, it was developed by people around you who hadn't gone through a lot. So they had their own little small bubbles of ideas. And I'm trying to shift your paradigm. Quote me on that. Bars. More than wine is more than fun, baby. I just came to swing by like a girl that's curious. Come on.
And he said, quote, "The truth is the Maricopa County 2020 election was not stolen from Donald Trump." I wonder if any of that penetrates into the consciousness of Trump supporters that you spoke with.
It doesn't. It's not going to. It's not going to. Because they need something to be angry about, because we're not solving any of their other issues. And Democrats could do that. Easily win the fucking country, because what leftists, so-called social, more like democratic socialists, what they want is literally something that would help Republican voters. And they know that if they passed any of those things and all of a sudden things started getting better, they would never vote Republican.
Yeah, I mean, that Republican election official is an example of somebody that many Trump supporters and Trump himself, of course, wants to get rid of. I did think what was quite notable about this trip to Arizona, you know, for so much of the past year, we have heard outlandish and really, really crazy conspiracy theories about voting, whether it was, you know, Hugo Chavez, voting machines swaying the election for Donald Trump, and pieces of paper from China some way changing votes. A lot of that stuff seemed to die down, at least based on the people we had spoken to, and they were back talking about more generally the election being stolen, and talking more along the lines of the restrictive voting measures that are being brought in by Republicans at a state level. So the conspiracy theories seem to have, the more fringe conspiracy theories, I guess, have eased a bit, and now the talking points have really begun to align with these restrictive measures from Republicans. But of course, it is all still very much based on a big lie.
Because as you see these restrictive measures that are being put in place by Republicans, Trump supporters actually feel, and they're buying into this line, that they are being disenfranchised, Donnie.
Yeah, and it was kind of striking. We started off Saturday morning at that march with the King family and speaking to an elderly African American woman, a voter in Arizona, and for her the fear is real. What she is seeing, it is based in history. It's echoes of Jim Crow. What they are seeing with these restrictions that are being brought in now. On the other side of things, there are people at the Trump rally who are fearful. I think some of them know better. Some of them know that this is a lie and it's BS and it's a talking point, but a lot of them.
She belongs to the streets.
Hey yo! Hey yo! Thank you for the follow.
So far into this world of conspiracy that they genuinely do believe that American democracy is a joke, and it's a very, very sad place for an American to be in that mindset, particularly because of lies. So there is fear on both sides of this debate, but obviously with much different motivations. Brianna?
Yeah, Donnie O'Sullivan, thank you so much for that.
So to cap this off, there's a problem and we need to fix it. And it's looking more like and again, I will make this joke for the 30,000th time. If all lives matter, then why are you fighting a group of people who want to help you? I thought your lives mattered too.